Because even, yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out.
This shit, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
Jake Paul admitted he was stunned after watching Gervonta Davis's intense, monster-like training footage, but he refused to lose confidence. He acknowledged Davis as a strong, skilled fighter, yet insisted that his own preparation and mindset give him the edge. Paul explained that 5 years of relentless training, fueled by positivity and self-belief, have pushed him to keep improving. He also pointed out that in countless sparring sessions, he has never been knocked out, a fact that boosts his confidence heading into the fight. For Paul, stepping into the ring isn't just about skill, it's about proving that discipline and belief can be the ultimate difference.
Yes, sir. My hat. Yeah. Oh.
The biggest barrier to a clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is the significant difference in their weight classes. Davis has built his legacy in the lighter divisions, where his speed and explosive power dominate opponents his own size. Jake Paul, however, naturally carries much more weight and usually competes in the cruiserweight category. For fans and analysts, the concern isn't just a few pounds, it's a gulf so wide that the fight feels almost unrealistic. When weight disparities become this large, it's not just about skill anymore. Size brings strength, stamina, and punch resistance. That's why many believe this matchup will stay more fantasy than reality. Even with its entertainment value, promoters can't overlook the risks of putting a naturally smaller fighter against a much larger one.
There's no way in hell this fight was ever going to happen. And the fact that y'all believed it, I don't know, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, like, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never going to happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You could still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed on the State Farm Arena event.
Controversy takes center stage as reports surface that Georgia refused to host Gervonta Davis, forcing Jake Paul to redirect his training and event plans to Miami. This situation highlights just how messy negotiations can get for high-profile exhibition fights. States don't just consider financial gains, they also weigh regulatory hurdles and reputational risks before giving approval. For Davis, Georgia's rejection shows that his name still brings both excitement and controversy. For Paul, however, the switch to Miami aligns perfectly with his style of creating buzz and headlines. The move doesn't just alter logistics, it also shifts the atmosphere. With Miami now established as a hotspot for celebrity-driven fight spectacles, the relocation guarantees attention, but it also exposes how fragile and unpredictable these promotional battles really are.
Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul both let everybody know that the location for their exhibition fight has changed from Atlanta to Florida. And let me tell you, it wasn't because Jake Paul just woke up in the morning and decided that he was going to change the venue. No. It was because of politics, once again, getting in the way of a Gervonta Davis fight. The amount of times that local small politicians play around with Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis's fights is at the point of being ridiculous right now. There is no way without coercion that this many venues, that Gervonta Davis has this many problems with venues. But this time, it wasn't a problem with the venue. It was a problem with the state of Georgia. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. It's a little $ by a comment. And thank you to my guy that did it yesterday with the big $5 holler. Thank you so much, man. I'll thank you directly in the video. But let's get to this because I'm sick of this, man. Every single solitary time, well, over the last 2 years, pretty much, and I'm saying this because I believe this to be true, pretty much since Gervonta Davis started having an argument with Turki Al-Sheikh.
Former champion Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul's impact on modern boxing, stressing that win or lose, Paul has marketed the sport in ways few traditional fighters ever managed. Algieri notes that Paul shook things up by bringing in new fans who never cared about boxing before, turning his bouts into full-scale crossover events. More than just fighting, Paul has managed to lure big names like Gervonta Davis into the conversation, blending boxing with celebrity culture. The result is a unique atmosphere that draws audiences who might never have paid for a boxing event otherwise. Algieri argues this promotional genius shouldn't be dismissed just because Paul isn't a world champion. Instead, it proves that boxing's growth often relies on figures bold enough to blur the line between sport and spectacle.
Jake, but it's mostly win-win for him. Right. So what does Gervonta Davis?
Hold on. I got to respond.
That's what I want, Chris. Go ahead.
I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So, what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed in this day and age.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. And champ, you should know better because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufacturer because Ray Leonard actually was legit.
Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, could fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want any of the smoke? Shakur has wanted all the smoke. This guy doesn't want any of the smoke.
Analysts are split when comparing Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Critics argue Davis is simply too small, and the size gap makes a truly competitive fight unrealistic. That's why, they say, any matchup would have to be an exhibition rather than a sanctioned bout. The problem with exhibitions, however, is that without real stakes, they struggle to hold lasting fan interest. On the other side, many believe Davis's speed, slick style, and natural boxing IQ would allow him to embarrass Jake Paul regardless of size. They point out that Davis has faced elite world champions, while Jake's resume is built on limited experience. In their eyes, Davis would dart in, land clean shots, and make Paul look clumsy despite the weight difference.
Before I say any comment about it, my question is, what's the rules? And Like, are they going to actually try and knock each other out? Because it's going to be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's going to have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
You know?
Big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's going to eat his
I thought
guts.
Jake was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
No, that was actually getting.
That
sounded
the
more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Oh.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
What is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw.
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they can
very
get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
So small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd
dude.
likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow.
Chael Sonnen, never shy about blunt opinions, weighed in on Jake Paul's sudden pivot toward Gervonta Tank Davis instead of Anthony Taylor, whom many expected next. Sonnen pointed out that while Davis is an elite fighter, he isn't naturally a salesman when it comes to promoting fights. Tank's brilliance is inside the ring, not outside it. Jake Paul, however, has mastered both. He knows exactly how to craft narratives, stir hype, and draw mainstream attention. Sonnen's take is clear: Davis brings the legitimacy through skill, while Paul brings the promotional machine. Without that balance, the fight would never generate this level of buzz. Together, though, it becomes a rare mix of raw fighting talent and entertainment power.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contender's fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Some analysts argue that while Gervonta Davis is feared for his knockout power at lightweight and super featherweight, that same power may not carry against someone the size of Jake Paul. They believe Paul's natural weight and bigger frame give him a built-in durability that Davis cannot easily break. In the smaller divisions, Tank's punches dismantle opponents, but against a man who walks around much heavier, those same shots might lose their bite. The analyst view is blunt: physics matters. Skill and speed can win fights, but size often acts as a shield. That skepticism is why many see Davis versus Paul less as a competitive sporting contest and more as a spectacle, tilted by physical advantages that no amount of talent can erase.
The Gervonta fight makes no sense to me, because even Yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had. But even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this gonna, like, where's the idea that Gervonta's even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, you know, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, you know, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Like, okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd, but he's too small. I mean, your brother's going to be able to, you know, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals. And when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of like staged fight bullshit, which like these fights aren't staged, you know, that's just, it's at that level, it's like almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts. I think that's the theory. So to hold people accountable for
legitimate
perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So again, the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say, what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one.
Critics argue that Jake Paul's rise has been fueled not only by promotion, but by a kind of disrespect toward boxing's past generations. By luring retired legends into the ring with huge paydays, they claim he undermines the sport's integrity. Even icons like Mike Tyson have been tempted back after years away, moments that excite fans, but also raise serious safety concerns. The line between spectacle and exploitation blurs when aging champions are drawn into fights they never would have taken otherwise. While the money is undeniable, the danger is clear. Boxing risks becoming a carnival where reputations are gambled and health is jeopardized. Jake Paul thrives on that edge, but for many, it's proof he's willing to bend tradition for attention.
Perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So again, the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one. Right? That's the thing that's, again, false. So I get it. I get why they're upset, but I also get why people categorize it the way they do. You just got to be better with your words. That's it.
And not many of the fights are legitimate fights, but not being fixed. Hey, you hit me here and I hit you there.
Yeah, I mean, Dana, that's insane.
I agree.
Like, let's choreograph.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do if people are fucking saying stupid shit? People say dumb shit about me, my business, all the time.
True.
Former champion Sean Porter defended Gervonta Davis's decision to take an exhibition with Jake Paul, arguing that critics are missing the bigger picture. For Porter, this fight isn't about proving greatness, it's about securing financial stability for Davis and his family. With exhibition rules limiting risk, the real goal becomes entertainment. Porter reminds fans that fighters have short careers and must seize opportunities that offer both exposure and financial reward. From this angle, Tank Davis isn't selling out, he's protecting his future while delivering a spectacle. Porter's words capture the balance between purists chasing legacy and fighters who must also think about life after boxing.
They're trying to make it safer and, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like they're talking like I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate it a little more because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, more of a difference.
Right.
There might be less hate on it, but at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to tell Tank not to take that fight.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more updates, and until next time, keep your gloves up.